Ah, du coup... vous avez planté de prévu des traitements pour soigner les citoyens malades, des sérums pour booster votre métabolisme, durant les combats, des améliorations d'armes. Ok. D'abord analyser les composants que vous avez trouvés pour déverrouiller de nouvelles recettes. Qui sont à analyser. Analyser. Restaurer immédiatement.
William Bishop's blood is much more
Et bien
unstable than
que
human blood and
cela
shows
est présent.
extensive mutations.
D'importantes mutations. Mais ce n'est pas ce qui m'est arrivé. Je dois poursuivre mes recherches. Le soleil est sur le point de se lever, je le sens, je continuerai à la nuit. J'ai plus le temps qu'il n'en faut. Désormais. Utiliser le lit pour se reposer jusqu'à la nuit. Oui, oui. Du coup... Augmente votre capacité sanguine. Augmente la quantité de sang absorbé lorsque vous utilisez morsure au combat. Augmente votre endurance. Augmente votre santé. Voilà, bah on est déjà bien avec ça. Confirmé. Voilà, voilà. Walou. Chaque nuit, les conséquences de vos actes peuvent améliorer ou dégrader la situation sanitaire du quartier. Celle-ci peut aussi se détériorer sur... Ah, c'est un jeu de... C'est un jeu de vampire, c'est pas mal, franchement. Ouais, désolé, j'avais pas vu tes commentaires, Théo. Ou dégrader la situation sanitaire du quartier. Celui-ci peut aussi se détériorer si des maladies se propagent. Le mec, pas besoin d'harceler. C'est vampire, le nom. Vampire avec un... À la place du I, tu mets un Y. Celle-ci peut aussi se détériorer si des maladies se propagent parmi ces... Ah ouais. Ouais, mais moi je l'ai gratuit parce qu'en fait, si tu veux... en fait, avec la PlayStation, quand t'as un PS Plus, pour jouer en ligne et tout, bah, chaque mois t'as 2 jeux gratuits. Et ça faisait partie des jeux gratuits. Donc je l'ai installé et là je viens de... J'ai fait tantôt une petite partie et ici je continue. Plus vous tuerez des citoyens, plus le quartier deviendra insalubre. Si un quartier tombe sous le seuil critique, ce quartier plongera dans le chaos. Il n'appartient qu'à vous de décider du sort du quartier. D'accord. D'accord.
stay here until my research is complete. I'd better learn to hide my
Si je
true
veux
nature.
rester ici jusqu'à la fin de la nature mortelle, mais que
What about
faire
my
pour m'en
first
sortir. En fait, ça, le personnage là que j'incarne, c'est un médecin qui est vampire en fait.
Yes, Nurse Crane?
Et là, je suis
How
dans
can I
un
help?
hôpital, j'ai été engagé.
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to
Certes,
rest, but
ordonner
we have
votre
somewhat of a
tranquillité,
crisis.
mais la situation est
A
assez
crisis,
critique.
you say?
Comment ça critique?
Our supply of antiseptics
Votre
is
réserve
nearly
d'antiseptique
depleted.
est presque
I
épuisée.
was hoping
J'espérais
there was
en
another
trouver
box
une
up
autre
here, but
boîte ici. Mais...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
you have been
Wow,
away
c'est lâché.
too long,
Vous êtes parti
Doctor.
depuis
With the
trop
war
longtemps,
and
docteur.
now
Avec
this
la guerre
epidemic,
maintenant, cette
supplies have been running scarce for
épidémie, la
months
pénurie
now.
nous guette depuis des mois.
I may have a solution.
J'ai peut-être une
In
solution. En France,
during
pendant
the
la
war,
guerre,
drug shortage was a daily
la
problem. We had to use
pénurie
our
de
wits to
médicaments
overcome
était
the shortages.
permanente. Nous devons... Ah, attends, je vais faire juste un truc. Voilà. Comme ça, je vois les
However
commentaires.
do you mean?
Yeah.
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can...
Attendez, j'arrive. Oui, donc j'arrive tout de suite, je fais juste... Voilà, je suis de retour. Du coup...
in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom.
Du coup... Attendez, hein, quelques minutes, je fais juste un truc. Du coup. Voilà. Hop là, voilà, on est reparti. La réserve spécialement vous êtes au Pembroke. Ici, l'espace libre est un luxe fut un temps. Tout est stocké dans l'ancienne morgue. Je devrais peut-être commencer par fouiller cette morgue. Où est-elle? Il s'agit du gros bâtiment derrière l'hôpital. Vous devrez passer par la porte. Salut aux personnes qui en rejoindre de derrière car les autres entrées. Prenez. Elle permet d'ouvrir. Et je vais regarder s'il n'y a pas moyen de l'audio. Langue. On peut pas changer la langue, genre. À un moment donné, derrière l'hôpital, une petite porte. Au bout d'une ruelle, j'y vais de ce pas, je vous remercie l'infirmière. Voilà. Bon, du coup, il faut retourner. On va retourner dehors. Et on doit aller derrière le bâtiment. Il n'y a pas une porte là-bas derrière? Il n'y a pas de porte là-bas derrière. Ah, peut-être. Mais oui, il y a une porte derrière. Ouais, on est tout seul.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate.
Oh
If
là
they
là.
were to find somebody.
Vous entendez le bruit? Vous avez entendu le bruit? Ça donne... Moi perso j'entends un bruit comme ça, je compte pas. Hein. Moi tu vas te débrouiller, tu vas trouver des antibiotiques ailleurs. Moi je vais pas. Hein. T'es malade ou quoi? Tu veux que je meure? Moi j'ai obtenu des fioles. Bon moi je me casse les gars, je vous laisse tout seul. Non je rigole. Je peux pas faire ça. Oh là là. Je sens que je vais en avoir un là dans ma gueule, tu vois. Pourquoi tu veux y aller? Pourquoi je dois y aller surtout? Non, j'ai pas envie d'y aller moi.
I cannot enter.
Oh bah tant mieux, moi j'aime bien qu'elle ferme à clé. Hein. Ah.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Oh, il y en a encore, hein. Ah, il a des balles sur lui. Oh, il y a des affaires là. Bouteille d'alcool.
This key will surely
Ah, la
grant
clé
me
du sous.
access to the
Non!
basement.
Non, la clé du... Non. Pourquoi? Pourquoi? Pourquoi tu me la donnes, la clé du sous-sol? Sérieux, j'en avais pas besoin. Hein. Tu pouvais la garder si tu voulais. Hein. Coucou. Je m'appelle Jean-Luc. Oh, t'es mort. Eh, mais il était où, lui?
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they
Ah, il
are
reste plus que
ineffective,
trouver de
but
l'hypochlorite
they do contain iron
et
tartrate and
trouver des ingrédients médicaux utiles dans la vieille morgue. Trouver de l'hypochlorite de sodium. J'ai plus que l'hypochlorite de sodium, à mon avis c'est au moins 1. C'est bon, sinon j'aurais pas besoin d'aller en bas. Ça m'arrange pas trop. J'aimerais bien que ça soit en haut en vrai. Bon, ici y a rien. On va descendre. Pff, les gars, vous êtes sérieux à me faire ça là?
it's locked all right.
Non, mais j'aime pas qu'elle soit verrouillée. Moi j'aurais aimé sortir par là et me barrer et puis j'avais fini, tu vois. Mais non, il veut me faire descendre. Wow! Putain, j'ai eu trop peur. J'étais tellement pas prêt en fait. En fait, c'est elle, non? Ça c'est elle qui est là. C'est la femme qu'on a croisée tantôt. Qui est comme nous. Mais qui s'est barrée après. En fait, j'ai même pas peur des trucs, j'ai peur d'elle parce qu'en fait elle apparaît comme ça.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
J'avais faim. Désolé. J'avais juste faim, j'en peux rien. Tu m'en veux pas quand même. Dis à ton copain qu'il reste bien tranquille. Oh merde! Oh, je l'avais pas vu le con! Oh! Oh putain, mais il m'a fait trop. Mais en fait, ils sont. Wesh, ils sont combien? Oh, il m'a fait peur! Oh le con! J'avais pas vu qu'il y avait 2 mecs là. Calme-toi. Hein. Là, j'ai encore reçu du tartare. Y'a personne ici, hein, on est d'accord. Y'en a pas un qui va me sauter à tout moment sur ma gueule. Oh oh! Ta mère! Hop là! Eh mais ils sont combien dans ce truc de merde? Ouah! Elle est où?
I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Ouais, les gars. Il y en a encore, hein, on est d'accord. Il y a encore des Jean-Luc.
It's locked.
Verrouillé. Il est disponible, appuyez pour le menu des investigations. Ah, ok. J'ai lu le rapport du docteur concernant la mort de Samuel Connor. Samuel Connor? Connor? Je ne suis pas encore totalement convaincu, peut-être que devrais-je mener ma propre enquête pour déterminer la véritable cause de la mort du patient. D'accord. Alors, Samuel Connor, race caucasien, sexe masculin, âge 39 ans, adresse inconnue, profession pêcheur, type de décès naturel, cause probable du décès, pneumonie foudroyante due à une consolidation pulmonaire causée par un virus, grippe espagnole, participant à l'examen. D'accord.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
Je peux? D'accord. Alors...
Traces of a pinkish foam.
Les traces de bave, reliées au coin des lèvres, une sorte d'overdose peut-être. D'accord. Poitrine ouverte, le thorax a d'abord été ouvert pour pratiquer l'opération, les points de suture sont propres, mais le thorax a été rouvert. Poumon opéré, ponction du poumon gauche, probablement un drainage thoracique. Pas le travail le plus soigné, mais ça a fonctionné. D'accord. Lésions aux jambes et aux bras. Écorchure et cicatrices multiples au niveau des bras et des jambes. Des blessures anciennes de cicatrices d'un marin ou d'un pêcheur. Ouais, ça va avec sa profession, il est pêcheur. Signe d'hémorragie interne, en résumant, le docteur Tipes a mal closé. L'anesthésiant, ce qui a provoqué un collapsus chez le patient, puis il a essayé de le réopérer. Tipes a commis une erreur gravissime, il est temps que l'on discute, lui et moi. D'accord, nouvel indice disponible. D'accord. Interroger Coco. Du coup, lui, il est toujours verrouillé. J'aimerais bien l'ouvrir quand même. Il y a encore des petits coquinous ici, hein. Je le sens pas. Je vais remonter, il va comment en avoir un. Ah ouais, je l'avais dit. Oh, il y en a deux. Et il m'y faisait pas ça avant. Hein. Il se bougeait pas comme ça. Encore? Là, je pense qu'il respawn tout le temps en fait. On va sortir. Bonjour à la personne, salut aux deux personnes qui viennent de rejoindre. Voilà. Du coup, on va aller enquêter d'abord sur la mort.
I should investigate. If they were to find somebody, scour voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Il y a des bruits de squales dans le jardin, genre. Je m'embrouille en fait, du coup je sais plus. Ah c'est par là. C'est juste. Faut que j'aille parler au docteur Cocoron je pense. C'est dehors. Ok. Je m'attends à me dire, docteur, bah il est sûrement dans l'hôpital, tu vois. Ah bah non. Il fait son petit tour dehors, tu vois. Il fait son petit jogging à côté des squales.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the
Ah, c'est pas
ambulance
lui.
driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor.
Bon,
but
je suis
I'm
pas
pretty
médecin,
sure a
mais je suis
gun can't be
pratiquement
used
sûr
as
qu'un
a
flingue peut
surgical
pas servir d'instrument
instrument.
chirurgical. Effectivement, j'ai appris à tirer durant
I
la
learned
guerre
to
et je
shoot
porte une
during
arme
the war,
depuis.
and have carried one ever since.
Les vieilles habitudes, vous comprenez.
No
Ouais,
need
bien
to
sûr.
explain, Dr.
Pas besoin
Reed.
de vous justifier,
If you
docteur
ever
Red. Et
need a
si
better
jamais...
gun, remember, I may
N'oubliez
have
pas que je
something
peux
for
vous
you.
aider à trouver mieux. Ah ouais. Ah bon. Tu viens me titiller parce que j'ai une arme, mais après tu
I'd
veux...
like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Ah c'est nickel, au moins on sait que lui...
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadillac firm.
Il y a autre chose. Je comprends pas là.
It's safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Je ne comprends pas. Là, il faut que je le cherche peut-être. Cocoron, Tipet.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly
C'est pas
Ackroyd.
lui.
Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
It seems you have bad memories of your
Oh, USB.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame?
Mais
Or are
c'est
you
normal
truly dedicated?
sur ça,
And
plein
what
de
exactly is
messages
that
là,
supposed
plein de
to
petits messages.
I served in the war just like you.
Je fais la guerre, mais
But
par
unlike
contre,
you,
ouf,
I
je
did
ne
not
suis
use
pas
the
servi des
wounded
WC
to
pour
play
jouer
the
à l'apprenti
modern
sorcier.
sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate,
Faites attention à ce que
Dr.
vous
Ackroyd.
aussi.
I only want you to admit you used
Ouais,
those
mais lui,
men
pas
to
t'arrête.
improve your theories.
Au moins tranquille, j'ai sauvé de nombreuses vies.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see, that is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly
Salut
what?
à la personne qui vient de
We're
rejoindre.
here to save lives.
Vous avez deviné,
The
nos
people
patients
who
ne sont
trust
pas
us are
venus
not
ici servir
volunteering for experimentation.
de
They're
cobayes,
here
ils
to be
veulent qu'on les
healed.
I
soigne.
don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor.
Bon après on
Even
arrête
if
de parler
I,
avec lui
as
parce
a
qu'il
good
il
practitioner,
parle pour rien
should
dire.
express an interest
Clairement.
in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Eh mais toi je vais te tuer la tête hein.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Bon vas-y on va aller...
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
On va le
What do
taper
you
directement.
think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Voilà, on va laisser ça comme ça.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
De toute façon, on doit encore interroger d'autres médecins.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
You always knew the words to calm the children. As for me,
Bon, écoute, on va...
resources, but we have some of the most brilliant minds in London at Pembroke.
On va monter en haut. On va baisser la musique parce qu'elle est en train de... Voilà, ça c'est beaucoup mieux comme ça. Ah ben je vais chercher après le docteur.
It's locked.
Le français dégoûte tous les coins de rue, la routine quoi. Faut qu'on trouve la porte.
It's locked, all right.
Ah mais c'est là que le docteur il est. Bon, du coup. Fabriquer un traitement pour la fatigue. Traitement pour la fatigue. Hop, artisanat. Apporter un dortoir crâne dans la chambre du patient. Ok, j'arrive.
It's locked.
Ah, il y a encore un deuxième étage. Ah, c'est fermé, d'accord. Ok, bon, mais on va descendre du coup. Hop, du coup on va aller la voir. Ah, elle est neuf. c'est elle.
Finally, you've returned,
Docteur,
Doctor.
vous avez enfin
Did you
revenu.
find
Vous avez
anything of
trouvé quoi
value?
que ce soit d'utile?
Yes, nurse.
You've
Oui,
worked your first
infirmière.
miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Les maladies font baisser la qualité du sang. Des citoyens soignent-les avec les bons médicaments. Parlez au patient dans la pièce située derrière pour voir son état de santé.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this
Je
pain
suppose que cette douleur est la véritable raison de votre présence
is
ici.
someone taking care of you.
Yes. No.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Ouais, d'accord.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm all right. This hospital seems to be
Waste your
falling
time with me.
apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Edgar. N'oubliez pas que le stand des citoyens vous apporte énormément d'expérience. Cherchez les citoyens ayant un niveau de charme inférieur ou égal au vôtre et faites le bon choix. Edgar. Edgar est en haut. Edgar.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the
Survit uniquement grâce à la générosité de nos bienfaiteurs. Hélas, notre plus importante donatrice se trouve dans une situation délicate. Vous pouvez intervenir en sa faveur.
A spokesman or politician is
Un porte-parole ou un politicien, c'est ce que nous avons, ce n'est pas moi.
until I come to
Vocation, en tant que je n'ai pas compris ce qui m'est arrivé, je dois rester discret.
Discretion is in order,
Et
Jonathan.
demi, Jonathan.
Lady
Lady
Ashbury
Ashbury a récemment reçu des lettres
indelicate correspondence
compromettantes pour sa réputation si elle était rendue politique publique.
And you would like me
Il voudrait
to
donc que j'élimine cette menace?
By the stole, of
Voilà,
course
ça
not.
t'étole, bien sûr
I
que
would
non,
just like
je
you
veux
to
seulement
pay
que
her
vous
a
saviez
visit.
la voir.
Her ladyship is certainly near the tents
Doit
outside,
éviter les
tending
malades
the sick.
présentes avec
You can't miss her. Look for someone
chercher une personne d'une
impossibly
sublime
delicate.
délicatesse, ça sera elle.
accepted.
Alors
I'll see
j'accepte
what
que je
kind
vais
of
m'enquérir
trouble
des
Lady
soucis de
Ashbury
Lady
is in.
Ashbury. D'accord, donc on va devoir parler à la mécène de l'hôpital. C'est parti. Par contre ça m'embête un peu parce que...
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp. The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to
Moi
introduce
de me
myself
présenter en bonne et due
formally this
forme.
time.
Ah ben oui, c'est
My
elle
name
qu'on
is
avait
Lady
vue.
Ashbury.
Ashbury, je me rappelle très bien de vous, malgré la brièveté
In spite of the brevity of our encounter.
de notre rencontre.
Apologies.
Mais prêt au dépourvu, je suis très heureux de vous
I'm very
voir.
happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine.
Tout le plaisir est pour moi,
Doctor.
docteur.
I hope you're more disposed
Je vous êtes
to
enfin
answer my
disposé à répondre à mes
questions.
questions.
You must have countless
Vous devez avoir
questions.
tellement de questions, mais
But
avant
a
toute
rather
chose,
urgent
Swansea
matter first.
vous l'a dit.
Swansea has explained. My cover, if you
Ma
prefer,
couverture, pour ainsi dire, est menacée. Je suis ici pour vous aider.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first
J'ai payé
payment,
mon
but the
maître enchanteur
blackmailer
une
grows
première fois, mais
greedy.
il devient
I
stupide.
must refuse his most recent demands.
Je refuse de payer davantage. Continuez, je vous prie.
Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my
Le
shame
disputage à
at
la
having put the
honte d'avoir
hospital
mis à
at risk.
l'hôpital en danger.
The threat
La
from our
menace de notre
anonymous scoundrel
calcul
is clear.
est claire.
A
Une liste
list
d'as,
of dates.
celle de mes
My visits
visites
coinciding
qui
with the dates of
coïncident avec
suspicious
celle des décès
patient
de
deaths
quelques patients.
due to
Morts
massive blood
par
loss.
exsanguination suspecte.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt
Vous
one?
n'y allez pas par 4 chemins.
You are aware that I too know the thirst for the scarlet nectar.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood
C'est la
transfusion.
personne qui est sur le
It seems
live.
you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands.
Je vais
Dr.
te manger, je vais la
I'm
manger la
sure
fille.
of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test.
T'inquiète, je vais boire son sang, tu vas voir, elle va pas le
I'll be
raconter.
your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Ouais, t'inquiète madame, je vais aller voir. Je vais aller voir Harriet là. Elle va pas faire long feu, Harriet. Oui, attends, elle est où? Me dis pas qu'elle est dans l'hôpital.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect. What is this? Who are you?
Ah, du coup, je pourrais pas voir son sang, elle.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. Our sin of scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
Trouver l'infirmière Pippa Hawkins, Dorothy Crane.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
Ah, Pippa Hawkins, bah voilà.
Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Je voulais la voir et bah voilà.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if the nurse finds some happiness where she can?
Ah, donc c'est elle. Ah mais ouais, ça serait elle du coup.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
Je pense que c'est elle en fait, du coup.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Safer here than anywhere else in the world.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir.
Mais voilà, je devais lui parler elle aussi.
Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique.
Par contre, c'est chiant, c'est beaucoup de paroles. Hein.
Well, I'm a little surprised.
Je sais ce que je vais devoir faire.
Unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett in our situation?
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling
J'ai
against an
cliqué 2 fois sur
invisible
le haut.
enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye,
Voilà.
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
It's safer here than anywhere else. Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that cabin first.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Have you heard rumors about blackmail in this hospital?
No?
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Elle essaie de passer, je pense. Oui, mais du coup, il faut que je trouve interroger.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reed.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
I have wasted too much.
Liars and thieves, every last one of them.
What your last thoughts would be, sir?
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Have you heard rumors of underhand dealings in the hospital?
If you want to know what's going on here, you better talk to Miss Jones. She knows everything. Especially what she shouldn't.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. Here again.
Putain, Oh, attends. Je dois te parler à toi, non? Viens ici.
It's locked, all right.
Non. Non. Ah là là, fais chier. Mais mince, je devais lui parler à lui.
I cannot enter.
Ah, c'est lui? C'est lui. Oui. Enfin.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
Sur des pontages coronariens. C'est pas le corona là qu'on est en train de...
Look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Have you heard of any
Elle est c'est bon,
underhand
mais on est en train
dealings
de...
going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Corin, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Il a pas tort, mais...
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
I will cover for you, Dr. Tippett, by keeping what happened to Mr. Connor to myself.
I don't know what to say, actually. I can't exactly force you to become my accomplice.
You didn't force me. This is my decision to make. I believe you're still of use to the hospital, considering the situation.
Then I can make you this promise. As soon as the epidemic is eradicated, I will resign.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Voilà. Ah mais il y a un point de toute façon pour elle, donc... Hop. On va descendre.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
What? Ouais. Ça part dans les égouts, alors là... Je sais pas pourquoi, hein. Allez, il y en a encore.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. What sort of creature is this?
Vous n'avez pas d'argent, qui que vous soyez, d'où vous veniez, Dorothea est là pour vous aider. Sans entourloupe, sans frais, sans question, trouvez la maison d'Ives et présentez ce bon.
Some voucher for a free check-up in Whitechapel.
What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
I can't breathe!
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here! I need to get out!
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. Okay, I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Don't be sorry. We'll meet again soon, and we will be serene and beautiful.
Je sais pas, tu m'as mal parlé, j'ai envie de te tuer, écoute, ça arrive à tout le monde. Oh le... Bah voilà, je pense que je vais aller... Je vais aller dormir, me reposer. pour évoluer. Je vais faire une fois tout. Ah, ça c'était 1000. Là j'ai pas vu. Du coup on va faire ça, comme ça c'est 300. Voilà. Je connais pas 2 personnes. Voilà, donc après il faut en apprendre encore sur lui. J'ai déjà fait beaucoup de trucs sur lui aussi. Hein. Voilà. Donc eux deux ils sont morts. J'ai tué lui en fait. Je l'ai tué et je l'ai bouffé. Bon ben voilà. Je vais arrêter pour aujourd'hui, pour maintenant, pour l'instant.
The flower's dying. It needs water. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Du coup, voilà. J'espère que ça vous a plu. À la prochaine.